Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So first and 10 now from the 30. Off the play fake. Herbert. That's complete. It's Gordon. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, Herbert. He's got his tight end Fant, and he'll be stopped right at midfield. Solid gain of 18 yards and a Denver first down.
Partners, a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and get
under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. An extra DB for the 49ers now on 3rd. Operating from the gun. Herbert, he's got his big tight end, Fant. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. But he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Ready. Blue ready. Watch QB drop. Watch QB drop.
Winston now after the fumble recovery. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, he'll force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On 3rd down, Winston. Over the middle, it's complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 18 yards, first down, Niners. They'll run on 1st down. It's Allen. And his first carry, he loses the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. He's at the 40. And a great return here gets this one all the way down to the 26-yard line. So the turnover forced and a wonderful job on a big return.
And how about the convoy that got created?
After review of the play, the run on the field is reversed.
On 2nd down now, it's Powell. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end, holding.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. A little jet sweep to start the drive. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
The touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the 49ers take a 3-0 lead. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. It's a gain of 5, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
From the gun on 3rd down, Herbert. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 42.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. Gordon loses the football. It's loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw. Herbert nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Nick Bosa in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Now Gordon. There goes Melvin Gordon. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Melvin Gordon, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos have taken the lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Winston from the gun on third down. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. And Denver getting set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4. This is the tight end Fant, and they're able to get this one across the 35. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Off play action. Herbert. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
The Broncos on third down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever. Looking to throw. Herbert. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Let's go. Do it.
Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives and end.
Touchdown, 49ers. In for the score. And once again, the 49ers are back out in front. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On second down, it's Gordon. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos first down.
Ready, ready. 18 game. 56. Come on. We better bring it. Go.
On first and 10, Herbert. And he loses the football a second time. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And he will bring this one back. It's a fumble return for the 49er touchdown. Fumbles, that's how you get in the coach's doghouse. The first one lost and it hurt. This time you lose it and it's taken in for a score. It really hurt.
And about that doghouse, it won't exactly be comfortable, and it definitely won't be air-conditioned.
Milk bones?
None.
Point after here coming up. It's good to make it 17-7. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field.
And in just about every game we see, partner, what do when we look at the stat sheet? We go right to
the turnover differential.
Without a doubt, because when we see that, that pretty much tells the tale of the game. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, but you've got to take care of the football in order to win it.
A run there on first down going nowhere as he stopped right at the 25. DeForest Buckner in on the tackle. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on second and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. This time it's Gordon. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Off the play fake. Herbert. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up second and 10. Powell. Boy, shifts past him. And he'll be down close to the first down marker as he gets this to the Broncos 27.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On third down, it's Allen. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. Just enough to get the first down there with a 1-yard pickup. Jameis now on first down. Forced out to his left. That is caught inside the 5. 1:54 left on the clock here in quarter number 2. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. Winston now. Yeah, he's got it. And across the chalk, into the end zone, it's a 49er touchdown. From 4 yards out, and the Niners are able to stretch their lead.
The tight end position has always been dangerous, especially in the red zone, short field. But now even more so because these tight ends aren't necessarily the tight ends of old. They're the rocked-up wide receivers who have a little bit more speed. Way harder to cover than before.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. Back to throw. Herbert. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
Here we go. 10 Lobo. 54. Let's go, D. Let's go.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Going underneath for Gordon. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. This quarterback now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Here's a 2nd and 7. Able to get this to Gordon, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. 7 yards on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half.
60 Pittsburgh.
2nd and 3. Got Gordon open, completes it. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal. We now proceed to the start of the second half. Continuing to steadily move the ball down the field. Not big play after big play, but these moderate gains getting him first downs.
And you know what they add up to, right? If you continue that pace and you continue to move it downfield, they add up into 6 points. That's exactly what you're looking for.
So here are the Niners to take over on offense. They were winners a week ago over the Bucs. They lead here as well as they come up on first. Allen hit. He lost the football. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
He'll have a first down past the 40. He'll get 17 on that one, and the Niners have a first down.
Well, when we go back to our conversation with the defensive coordinator, that type of a play was not a surprise to him. He expected trickery in this game, yet somehow his defense, they still took the cheese and got caught in the mousetrap.
Winston. Caught by Allen. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play. And facing a second and long. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. A big play there for the Niners. And a very appropriate gain as well, 49 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw, Winston. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it's going to be tipped up and picked off.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. To say they've kept him under wraps running the football, that's an understatement. He's been completely neutralized.
Yeah, they've essentially taken him out of the game, haven't they? And you know all the teams say, we're not going to let him beat us. Well, that's exactly what's happened here. They've lived up to that.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And the coach has decided to challenge this play. He has tossed down the red flag.
Winston's pass to the sideline and incomplete.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden... The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start. 2
runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, Herbert. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And he's got a man open. That's Allen. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot, and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Working out of the gun, Winston. Well, he's going to go for it all. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So here are the Broncos to take over on offense. They lost last week. Actually, not only did they lose, they were shut out, but they've got the lead here right now. Now a play fake here on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeForest Buckner has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Looking to throw. Herbert. And a quick throw here. That's complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Completes it to Fant on the right side. And he'll be stopped here well short of the first down at the 24-yard line. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. They've got the lead here getting late into the third quarter. The passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
Welcome back now to Denver. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the fourth and final quarter. On second and 11 now. Winston. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. It was Trey Flowers that time who got a hand in and broke it up.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turns into a nice play.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. Escaping the pressure right. Going deep here for Allen. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So the Broncos coming out now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. And he's got his man on the out route. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Broncos on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 3. Back to throw. Herbert. And that will be incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Robertson. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver 1st down. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Herbert. That's caught over the middle by Fant. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. 18 big yards on that one and a Denver 1st. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Back to throw. Herbert. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now a dump off here complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. On 4th down, Herbert. He's got his tight end Fant, and he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver 1st down. 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays have been successful throughout the game that have worked in the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Now a throw complete to his fullback out of the backfield. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2. Complete. Smith has it. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completions.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Again, Gordon on 2nd and goal. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It'll be a gain of 4, but it'll bring us now to a 3rd and goal. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Operating from the gun, Herbert. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. So now 4th and goal. You're trailing by a decent amount here. What are you doing, Coach Davis?
Well, I've got to think to myself, just how many more opportunities am I going to have this close and have this chance? I've got to go for it right here. The clock's dwindling on me. Let's go get it done.
They go for it on 4th and goal, but that winds up incomplete. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and the 49ers are going to get the football back. So they'd converted their first 2 4th down attempts, not there. Now they're 2 for 3.
You think maybe the offense coordinator expended a little capital on that one? You know, when you're 2 for 2, you can lobby for that 3rd one, right? Didn't get it there. Maybe now the head coach might not be so eager to go for it as we go forward.
And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Allen, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind.
And Winston lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And it's a defensive return for a late touchdown. So they still need somewhat of a miracle here, but at least that gets them a little bit closer. So hold the phone here, Charles. I'd kind of written them off, but after that touchdown, certainly a long way still to go, but stranger things have happened.
Well, when you're going to have big second-half comebacks, plays like that have to be involved.
2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the 49er hands team does its job. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Winston here to throw. Wide open receiver complete. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now a carry for Allen. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. The first down throw for Winston. That's complete right around the 8. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. And nothing special there. They showed they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight-ahead power, and they got it done.
And the formula there on the 2-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that someone, if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. On first down, Herbert. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. To throw again. Herbert. Over the middle, complete. That's Robertson. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Looking to throw. Herbert. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 24.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing.
And this is taken in at the 5. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They're looking to throw this. Winston. He's got daylight. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a